Today we're going to do a little bit of a reality check, and I got 11 things for you here that I think are really good to look at as we wrap up our first semester and we close the year of 2018 and head into 2019. Some reality checks that we need to look at and evaluate how we're living our life, how we're working, how we're producing, how we're performing. And so 11 reality checks that I want to work on. The first one is you will not be rewarded for bad behavior. What is bad behavior? No, it's not necessarily going into Kroger or the store and stealing a gift for your grandpa, and because I want to steal and I walk out, like, that's bad behavior. Obviously, you're not going to be rewarded for that. You will get a nice fine, or you might get in jail for those crimes. Okay? What is bad behavior? How do we look at that? I think we all know right from wrong. Okay, there's some of that's a little gray area, but in terms of good behavior, it's not necessarily you have a 4.0, you got 100. I'm looking at work ethic. I'm looking at effort, skill, and trained skill, because you all have skill, you all have talent, but are you working on it? You will get rewarded not just for the skill you have, but for the skill that you keep trying to develop and make better. You will be rewarded for the effort and trained skill that you develop and make better. Your attitude as well. A good attitude is rewarded, believe it or not. Around this time of the year, the last month, a lot of employees are getting supervisors, managers to come in and tell them about how they finished, how they worked throughout the year. They're going to tell them, hey, you worked really well this year, or hey, you had some time this year where your work was not very good. You didn't turn things in. You were absent for this many days. Bosses will go over that with their employees. And they will also tell their employees, hey, next year, I recommend you for a 2% raise. 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but that's how raises go. You don't get a 25% raise. Okay?
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice, but typically it doesn't happen. It's more of the lower percentages. But it makes a difference. I mean, 2% raise is better than nothing. Or some employees will go into those meetings and they will get told, you know what, there's no raise happening for you this upcoming year. Good behavior is rewarded. Bad behavior never gets rewarded. And at the end of the day, though, you can put in effort, you can have a good positive outlook, but if you don't produce anything, you won't get rewarded for it. At the end of the day, in the world that we live in, if you don't produce, you don't have something to show, you don't get rewarded for it. You don't turn in an assignment, you don't get rewarded for it. You don't turn in your job stuff, your paperwork for the job you finished, or all that. If you don't produce, you don't make money for the company, you will not get rewarded. You will not get rewarded. The second one, being told no is part of life. Get over it. Plain and simple, get over it. You will be told no many, many times over the course of your life. You've probably already been told no many times over the course of your life.
Okay.
It's going to happen. We live in a world where we expect to be told yes to everything. Not everything you want, you will get. Be ready to be told no. How are you going to respond to it? Are you going to be rational about it? Are you going to think logically through it? Or are you going to throw a tantrum like a 3-year-old at the store when they don't get the candy? Some of you still do that, and you do it in your own way. There's people who are 50, 45 that still do that in their own way. Being told no is a great part of life. Now, don't accept it. You don't have to accept being told no. But you come back and say, you know what, here's my idea. Here's a solution. I thought about it. You told me, no, I couldn't do it this way. Well, I put together a plan. What about this? Hey, you know what? That is a better idea. That is a better solution. I know I told you no before, but this one I'll say yes to. So you have a way to respond to the no in life. You don't have to accept it, but you don't throw a tantrum. You come back and say, I'm going to find a better solution. I'm going to make sure this eventually becomes a yes. But you will be told no, and it's a part of life. You got to get over it. Third, you are free to make your own choice. You are free to make your own choice. You are not free of the consequences from that choice. You are free to make a choice in anything in your life. You're free to turn in work or not turn in work. You have a choice to work hard or not work hard. You have a choice to go eat the 5 boxes of donuts, or you have a choice to go to the gym and work out. You have choices, and you make them consciously and subconsciously. But you have the choice. No one dictates for you how your effort needs to be. You control that. You are not free from the consequences of your decisions.
If you choose to not turn in work, well, that obviously affects your grade. You choose to not communicate something to your boss in an email and you get caught not telling them the truth, there's consequences with that. There's consequences for every choice in life. Okay, so when you're making a decision, hey, it's your choice. You must live with the results, though. You must be willing to be a young man or young woman enough to live with the results. I used to do, years ago, I did the ISS room. And occasionally I'd have some kids come in there and they'd be like, man, Mr. H, I just want to get out of here. This is boring. I hate being ISS. I'm like, I don't blame you, first of all. But hey, you know what? That door is not locked. You can walk out of that door anytime you want. The door is not locked. This isn't a middle school or a preschool. The door is not locked. You can walk out of that door anytime you want. Your choice. You can walk out anytime you want. But understand, when you make that decision, there are consequences, there are results that come with it. And they're like, well, no, you're just putting me on, Mr. H. I'm like, no, the door is open. It's not locked. You can check it. You can walk out at any time you want. But with that comes consequences, comes results. So understand, in life, you have the choice, but understand there are consequences and results from your decision. 4, life is not fair. Life is not fair. The famous Rocky line, life is not fair. It'll kick you down and bury you if you let it. I encourage you to watch that movie, or at least that scene if you have not. But life is not fair. Life is not fair. You will work sometimes really hard on something, and it will get denied. You'll be told no. You'll get put in a situation where you are, you have to help somebody else out. You lose money on something. You lose an opportunity on something just because. Life is not fair. It is not. There's some people, cancer is a great one. Cancer is not fair. There's great people in the world that have gotten cancer, gotten a medical diagnosis one day when they walked into their doctor's appointment and said, hey, you have weeks to live, you have months to live. Life is not fair. If that were true, then those people who did get diagnosed with cancer, who were really good people, wouldn't have. Life is not fair. It's going to be tough, especially when you get outside these 4 walls. Right now, life is easier. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's easier. When you get out in the real world, then it's all on you. Your bills, your food, all that stuff. You don't work hard, you don't turn things in, then it gets real. So life is not fair. Understand that. That's a reality check. 5, you are not the boss. You are not the boss. As much as you think you are not. You are always going to be, more than likely, under a supervision or a manager or a CEO or boss. You're going to be under somebody for most of your life. Understand that you are not the boss. I have, ironically, I have like 2 different sets of bosses because I don't technically work for Plymouth, I work for Goodwill. So not only do I have Principal Condon and Mr. Martin and Mr. Olson as my bosses here in this building, but I have Jennifer. I have another 4 or 5 people at the Goodwill office in South Bend who are my bosses and managers. I have people from the state JAG department down in Indianapolis who are technically my bosses. They tell me what to do. They tell me how high I have to jump. I better do it because they're my bosses. You're going to have a boss for probably the rest of your life, and understand that you do not control everything. Sometimes you're going to be told you need to do this. You need to do that by this time. You're not the boss. You can't argue everything. Now, some of you, I really hope you become the boss one day. You work hard. You put in the time and effort. You work on your brand. Some of you could start your own business, and you could be the boss. That's why some people do that. They start their own business because they're like, I don't want to have a boss for myself. I want to be the boss. I want to set the schedule. I want to set the agenda. I want to know what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So if you're like that, hey, look at it. Create that brand and start your own business opportunity and be your own boss. But other than that, you understand that you will be under a boss probably for the rest of your life in some way, shape, or form. And you have to listen to what they say. And when they tell you to do this or that, you have to do it. 6, the world does not revolve around you. It does not. You are not the center of the universe. The world does not go around your schedule. It does not. No matter how great, special, talented you are. Understand that. It's not easy to be told the world does not revolve around you. You could be the greatest student. I could be the greatest JAG teacher. There's going to be other stuff that's going on that diminishes what we do or I say or you do. The world does not revolve around you and your problems or your successes either. You have success, There's going to be somebody else that probably tries to tear you down. You have an issue or a failure, there's going to be somebody that says, I don't care about your issue. I don't care about how you lost your job. You know what? I got my own problems. So the world does not revolve around you. You got your friends, you got your skill, you got your work ethic. That's what you have. Number 7, respect is earned. It's not given. Now, that's not to say right away there's zero respect between like me and you. Like go back to day number 1 this year. I'm not saying I had no respect for you day 1. You know, I had some, but I'm not gonna go out there and say, hey, we have full respect. You know, we're at full respect, man. Like we're bros. We're good. Respect is earned, and it's earned through your work ethic. It's earned through your effort. It's earned through your attitude. It's earned by fulfilling and producing good things and producing them on time. That's how you earn respect and get more respect. Respect is not just handed out, and respect is currency in our world today. If someone does not have respect for you, you will not get the promotion. You will not get the opportunity. You will not get the job. You will not get much in life. You have to earn people's respect. You have to. Respect in our world is not given. It's not going to be given freely. We start off with a basis here of respect, but you have to earn everything else. One other note on respect is that you must have some self-respect. If you don't respect yourself enough to put in the work, to put in the time, to use your resources wisely, to not sleep in and be lazy, if you don't respect yourself enough to do the necessary things in life to be successful, then realistically, think about this, how is someone else supposed to give you respect if you don't first respect yourself? Number 8, the world owes you nothing. You need to get over it. The world owes you nothing. Get over it. Why? The world owes you nothing? Because there's millions and millions of people in this world. You do not get just because you are here. You don't get just because you graduated from high school or you got your 3.78 GPA. That does not get you anything. There's plenty of people who have really good GPA and have good smarts that eventually get in the real world, and they might have an opportunity to get something, get their foot in the door, but it doesn't earn them anything. And for some of you who are just hands-out people, like give me, give me, give me an opportunity, give me a job, give me skills, give me this, give me that, you're not going to make it unless that's what you want to be in life. You want to just hope that people will give you stuff. You can't live life that way. You cannot live life that way. Number 9 is fits and tantrums will get you nothing. Like the little kid in the candy store around Christmas time. I want this, I want that. And we all cringe and like, oh, that parent has no control over the kid, or that kid's a brat. In life, people 18 to 99 live that way too. Fits and tantrums, complaining gets you nowhere. It gets you nowhere. Stop doing it. Stop. No BCD. That's why I always have that in the room. No blaming. Blaming your situation, blaming other people. Oh, it was my group member's fault. It was my boss's fault. It was the school's fault. It was the government's fault. No blaming. No complaining about your situation. No complaining about your circumstance, the spot you're in, and no defending your behavior. That gets you nowhere. Don't throw fits and tantrums in life. Work. Put the effort in. Find a better solution. Get denied. Go back to the drawing board. Go back even harder. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he got it right. He didn't complain and throw a tantrum. Number 10. You got yourself. You need to fix you. Take ownership. You got yourself. You need to fix what the issue is. Okay? Not saying no one will ever help you. So this isn't hands out time. But you have a dream. You have an issue. You put yourself in a position, a tough situation. You got you. You work to fix it. You can't wait for somebody to bail you out. Too often, we wait for somebody to bail us out. We hope. Hope is not a strategy in life. Work. Fix yourself. Fix what's wrong. Make a solution. Part of that might be asking, hey, can you help me? Family member, hey, friend, can you help me? can you assist me a little bit? There's nothing wrong with that, but you can't rely on them and them only. Fix yourself. You got you. You need to take ownership for your life. Not just here in this school, but just outside of this school in general. Take ownership. Take on the responsibility. The rights, the wrongs, the successes, the failures are yours. You mess up, hey, it's my fault. You have a success, hey, own your success. Celebrate the successes. But too many people don't take ownership for their life, and they end up living average. Don't live for average and mediocre. Live for above average. Live for greatness. Live for excellence. Okay, and then the final one is this. Close your mouth, open your ears. Plain and simple. Close your mouth, open your ears. Too many people do this. Or they don't listen at all. They might not do a lot of talking, but they don't do any listening. And if you don't listen, you might miss something that's very beneficial for you. Very beneficial for you. There's listening stats that say people, communicate in your day 75-80% of the day is done in some communication, whether you're listening, whether you're talking to somebody. Okay? And so you need to learn how to be an active listener. You need to engage the person that you're listening to, engage the podcast that you're listening to, engage the video that you're watching and listening to, taking in that information. Close your mouth, open your ears. You got 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use the thing you have 2 of. You never know what you will pick up. And it's hard. I will admit to you, it's hard. I struggle with this sometimes because I'm in a conversation with somebody and they say something, and I'm like, I want to tell them this. I want to insert my opinion or thought here. I got to tell myself, you got 2 ears. Stephen, you got 2 ears. Use the 2 ears first. Listen fully. Listen to understand. Don't just listen to respond. Too many times you got people who listen to then respond. Listen to understand. Listen to what that person's point of view is. You might not agree with it, but then you can respond and have a good conversation back and forth. So a reality check as you finish up the semester is make sure you focus on listening more, using those 2 ears. Open them. Don't close them. You can close them by having in your headphones in all the time. I enjoy listening to music, but when all you have is headphones in your ears 24/7, 365 days a year, you're going to miss out on a lot. And that's scary when people just literally walk around the hallways when you can hear their music and they're not in touch with reality whatsoever. Like they don't know what's going on around them. I could be talking to them and they don't hear me. So part of that opening your ears is making sure your ears are accessible. They're available to hear things and hear good things. Okay?